So, today I just wanted to share with you just some insights of what I've noticed as far as like the landscape, as far as like content goes, as far as marketing goes, and as far as like basically generating leads. Because I mean, we're all business owners, we want to grow our businesses, and we all know that sales and generating qualified leads is what's the blood of our business, is going to keep the doors open. So today I just wanted to kind of share with you a strategy that we've been kind of rolling out with our clients and kind of share with you some case studies that we've had. And then, as always, you could take it or leave it. If this works for your business, awesome. If not, no hard feelings at all. But I just feel like it would be a disservice if I didn't share with you guys just kind of like what we're doing. Because at the end of the day, we all want to see each other win and we all want to see each other grow like crazy. So here we go. We all know that, the power of social media as far as video goes, it's like creates a trust and it helps people know and like us more. So if you didn't know already, like and Connor is probably like sick of me saying this because I say this like at every workshop that we do. It's like 74% of consumers, they're gonna buy from people that they know, like, and trust. I mean, that's just the whole game. And video is gonna help us like shortcut that. So by creating content and things of that nature. And another study that came out that really interested me was that someone buys from someone and they need to spend 7 hours 11 different times, which is a crazy number. So we know that shooting short form content and long form content is going to get there, especially with podcasts. So you're basically accelerating that process with someone getting to know you even more. So these are kind of just like other touches, right? So we have like TV commercials, we have masterminds, we have workshops, we have email drip campaigns. So the more varied we are in basically reaching out to people, the more opportunity we're going to get to turn that person into a paying customer. So I'm not going to cover all of these today, but I want to cover like just one specific strategy that we've been doing. And so I realized, and our team realizes, that creating content is not enough. We're at the point where everybody is starting to create video. Like, businesses are understanding like the power of social media and video. And so it's not enough now to just post content. There has to be other ways where we're going to get in front of the customer and basically nurture them into paying customers, which is what we all want, right? So with that said, I kind of want to share with you like a funnel. I'm sure you guys have heard of like a top of funnel, a bottom of funnel, and then like middle of funnel. So we're just going to focus on the top and the middle today. So top of funnel is basically like creating the actual content. So it's like posting, I don't know what your guys' cadence are, but posting 3 or 4 times a week. And then the sole purpose is to create attention. So we're creating like specific content that's going to get eyeballs on the video content. And so in essence, that's going to help build the personal brand. And then if we create enough attention, we're going to get leads. And so what do business owners really want, right? Don't get me wrong, there's people that are just like, you know what, I get enough leads, I just want to get a bunch of views and just get famous online. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But based on my experience, and I've had like thousands of conversations, every business owner wants leads. In addition to that, qualified leads at that. Right? And so that's where the middle of funnel comes in, where we're basically nurturing that attention. So I just wanted to share with you kind of a strategy that we've been doing that, you guys can implement in your businesses and your personal brand as well. So I'm suggesting that we start creating freebies. So exactly what is a freebie, Michael? All right. It's a piece of additional content that is given to your current or future followers for free. So the one thing that I've noticed that a lot of top tier, top echelon business owners and influencers are doing now is that they're not only just producing content, but they're producing tangible products that are free for everyone. So they do that through automations especially on Instagram. They have landing pages that they link into their YouTube description. And then also their drip campaigns. So that's huge because, again, harkening back to the Google study, you want to be in front of everyone in a variety of ways, not just social media content, not just in person, not just phone calls, but you want to create different ways to get in front of them. And so what are examples of freebies? So these can be PDFs, these can be Canva templates, these can be mini video courses. The list goes on and on. You guys get the point. It's basically something of value that you can give someone that they can get and receive and use it and be like, oh man, dude, if this thing is for free, I can't even imagine what they can give me when I actually pay them. Like, a certain fee, right? So with that said, how do I produce a freebie? So here's just kind of some questions you can ask yourself. So who exactly are you talking to, right? I've noticed that this is the biggest problem that a lot of content creators face, is that they have no clue who they're talking to. Like they just basically create and just throw spaghetti on the wall and just hope that it sticks to the right, and the right person just calls them magically, right? So being able to just dedicate a little bit of time and just figuring out, okay, this is exactly who I'm talking to. This is exactly my ideal customer that I want to attract with my content and with my service. And I'm just gonna be sniper focused on that for 30 days, right? If you do that for 30 days, I promise you the right people are gonna start getting attracted to you. So I think we're all in agreement. I know Remy's discussed this in the past too, is like, views, people get caught up in views, right? Like the vanity metric stuff. And I think the focus needs to really be more on the outputs of being like, okay, I need to stay consistent with the content and putting the right content out there so I attract the right person to see that content and then book a meeting, so on and so forth. And then another key question to think about is like, what would I want to learn about it if I was in the shoes of a beginner? So meaning like, Buddy, for example, like if we'll just say, for example, like your ideal customer is like a seller in Duval, right? So like if you were selling your house for the first time, what exactly would you want to know about the process? So being able to create some type of a system or product around that. And then what is the best tool, tip, trick, or hack or resource that you know inside and out? What's something that you're just like, if someone were to ask you a question about a process in your business or like a service that you provide that you can just talk all day about. And then once you have that, then that would be the best freebie to give out, right? So just wanted to share with you guys some case studies here. So we've been testing this a little bit. So here's like a real estate investor we worked with, and he's based out of Seattle. And basically from the get-go, he was like, Michael, you know what? I don't care about being famous or anything. Don't care about views. I just want to be consistent and put my expertise out there and just attract the right people so I can build my database for investors, right? So we're like, okay, we're just gonna just post strictly educational content and see what happens. And so we've been sprinkling these freebies that have a comment call to action structure. So I'm sure you guys seen that videos out there. They do a type of content and they go, hey, if you're interested in this calculator, comment calculator and we'll send it out to you. So we did something similar to that, but with his Dadu cheat code. So I don't know if you guys know what a Dadu is, but it's short for detached additional dwelling unit. So it's like the craze that's going on in the state of Washington. A lot of investors are starting to dig into that as part of their portfolio. And so we created a PDF that was called the Dadu cheat code. So we set up automations in Instagram. So we had a bunch of comments on the post as well as DMs basically saying, oh dude, I want to know like your tips and tricks because I'm starting to get into Dadu builds. And so we basically had that automated, and this further is going to build trust and authority with potential customers and clients, because again, we're trying to create products that are going to be like, dude, if this free thing is this good, then I can't even imagine what they have to offer when I start paying this guy or gal, right? And so, I mean, we had, I want to say, I should have screenshotted the comments, but I think we had like 20 comments and like 20 DMs just based off the first day, just based on that video. And we made like a simple, even like fancy edit this. We basically just edit it within Instagram. Actually, you know what? I have it right here. So basically it was just, yeah. So the key with this is that we basically hit a lot of pain points in there. So basically saying like, middle America is struggling right now. You're trying to find ways to create other streams of revenue. And when we tied it back to being like, I started building Dadus in Seattle, which, increases equity, so on and so forth. And so that created a lot of like demand of people being like, oh dude, I need to learn more about this. And then our master plan is that we're creating like a course, like a Dadu course that we're basically gonna, implement Zoom calls, in-person meetups, things like that. So you can hit a lot of great things with these freebies, is that you can build up your emailing list, you can build up your database. There's so many cool things you can do with these automations, especially when you start getting more people into your funnel. And so yeah, so basically we were able to capture the info, email, and then this is going to help us with our further product development. This helps with video content ideas as well, because this shows us that, oh man, this cheat code works, so we can create more content and do another freebie and do a relaunch sort of deal. And then these people that are getting this, they're already qualified leads. They're people that are warm already because you've already basically exposed them to your expertise on another level. So another case study myself. So like I knew that there's still people out there that are super confused with, you know, filming, especially getting gear. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a list of all the things that I myself and my team use to shoot content. I'm gonna basically track it on a tracker and just share it with people for free and just see what happens. And so I made a piece of content that specifically hit a pain point, basically being like, hey, if you're struggling shooting your own content, these are the 3 items that you need. And I just went into it. Like I talked about importance of a camera, lighting, and then audio. And then I said, hey, if you want more info, hit the link in my bio. And then people signed up for it. And then basically they're added to my drip campaign now. So I'm basically nurturing them through like email journey on MailChimp's like 6 or 7 emails. And so they're a part of that and they get this for free. And so just to give you a little look, so I kind of gave a similar one to Buddy here, but this is like specifically for filming. So we basically just categorize or create a catalog of all the stuff we use. And then basically that's what they get. And it's a live doc too. So we're constantly updating it. And so when they go back to it, they'll see like new items added to it. And so again, I'm going to say this is super important. This is the third time I'm saying this in this presentation. The primary goal of the freebie is you want to make it so good and so great that someone thinks, I can't even imagine how amazing their product or service will be when I actually pay them. That's the primary goal. So like, I know a lot of people, it's hard for them to get their head around like, oh dude, I don't want to share my secrets. Oh man, I want to keep it like close to the chest because someone's going to find out and they're probably not gonna purchase my service because they know all the secrets already. No, dude, like the world is huge. There's like, I'm bad with numbers, but I think 8 billion people on earth. So let's think about it, guys. Like we really only need 10 to 20 people to really have like a solid business where, you know, we have freedom. I would say probably 10 to 30 customers. So that's like a huge or a small sliver of what the world has to offer, right? So that's the name of the game right now. And another hack I wanted to share with you is that these freebie, especially the content that you create to share that freebie, you can pin it on Instagram. And so what I do for myself and for other clients as well is that we basically pin this, and this can be the very first thing that someone's going to see on your profile, because the goal of that is that when someone visits Instagram, they're like, oh man, okay, let me see what this guy or gal's about. They're going to see what kind of content you have, right? There's value laden content that's, you know, that's going to help them. They're more inclined to follow you and they're more inclined to sign up for these products. So that's kind of what we're doing now at Praise is, you know, we basically covered the entire content creation process. We focus primarily on Instagram and YouTube. And then, so we're basically adding this service where we're creating the lead magnet for the client and then also help them set up like specific videos that basically promote that. So again, you know, we set up all the automations and everything, especially for Instagram. And then with YouTube, we basically put it in the description. Yeah, if you guys know anyone who are basically just like, you know what, I just have 0 time. I can't even shoot myself. Like I need a team that's going to basically just cover the entire process. That's definitely a perfect fit for us, especially if they own like a real estate business. So not just like a real estate agent, but, you know, wholesalers, real estate investors, construction, the list goes on and on. So that is all I had for you guys. Any questions?
Yes. But I'll let everybody else go first. Sure, anybody else that's...
I've got a couple of questions, but also statements. First of all, I'm glad you shared that. That was super informative. I took a whole bunch of snapshots and I got into my notes because primarily for me, and I feel like you're speaking right to me, like as a hairstylist, we're generating, you know, leads as customers, right?
Yeah.
People that are sitting in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's this whole other facet of like also being able to market to people who are also other hairstylists.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I think about it, it just kind of reconfirmed that what I kind of put to the side in the sense of offers, right? I realized I need to finish, and then I also need to like create that funnel and like start talking about it, start marketing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think for me, just like hearing what you're saying is just like totally confirmed it, but also just kind of brought more clarity, you know? Because I think for myself, we can get so caught up with just like the artistry day to day.
Yeah, you and me both.
We lose the idea of it's just like I go back to being an employee, and I'm just like, no, I'm a business owner, right?
Yeah,
I have an entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking to create different streams of income within the vicinity of what I'm doing, you know? Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to give you props on sharing that. Appreciate that.
Yeah, anytime, man. Yeah, definitely, dude. I think, yeah, you definitely have a huge opportunity because I think I remember you saying you wanted to do some like routines and things like that. So I think that's like dude, that'd be the perfect thing to roll out. And it's always baby steps, right? You don't have to go like full board, but just doing like a little bit here and there.
Reagan, I'll just kind of comment on yours because I feel the same way too. Because like I feel like sometimes I'm talking to, and Remy, all this because we've like broken up the YouTube channel and split it, and all these different ideas that I have to be more focused. So it's like I have the client who like listing their home. That's like number one. But also like I'm recruiting a team, right? Like so right now I have 137 agents on my real estate team. So it's like I'm talking to two different people, two different types of people. So I really need to be more focused, just like what you're saying, on who is my audience. And obviously, your feedback for the stand store stuff, like insanely invaluable because I my brain is like 5 places, and so I just really need to like zero in. So that was super helpful, Michael.
Oh yeah, you bet, man. Yeah, and we kind of have the same kind of wavelength with Ty Nguyen. We're kind of the same way. It's like she's recruiting, building up her team, and then at the same time talking to investors. So it's the same thing. But as long as you know who the 1 to 2 people you're talking to, then you're golden, man.
My question was, are you personally, like you being Praised Media, are you guys actually creating that PDF for Ian for your clients, or are you just saying here's what you guys should do, and then we'll tag it on stuff or whatever?
Yeah, good question. So so it's a little bit of both. So most of the clients that we have, all their knowledge is in their head, right? I can't like put it on paper. So we'll have like a brainstorming session and kind of go through it and kind of give our suggestions and then go from there. We have a handful of clients that like already have like items already, and then now it's just producing the content and just pushing it out. So yeah, we'll definitely have like some type of brainstorming session, break it down and decide, okay, I think it's better to do like a video course as opposed to like a PDF or something like that.
Right. Okay, cool. And that leads into my next question, which is, so like for those brainstorming sessions, are you like charging like hourly, or is that part of like your give back because they're like on retainer, or like are your packages? Part 2 of the question is, do you do packages that are like fully customizable, or is it like ABC and people kind of pick like in the box?
Yeah, so right now we're focusing just like on our core offers, where that lead magnet part is part of the overall scope. So we're not doing too many customized right now, unless, if it's a client we really want to work with and we see the potential and things like that, then, we'll make an exception. But yeah, for the most part, that's just part of the whole scope of what we do right now.
I just wanted to say, awesome presentation. I also took a ton of screenshots and was like making sure I didn't miss anything.
Thanks, man.
One question I had: how specific do you get, or like what do you do when you're defining your ideal client or customer?
You're talking about as far as like the avatar or whatever?
Like okay, who am I going to create for? Because that's kind of like, I don't know if I were to define mine today, like how specific or vague I would go.
Yeah.
I'm in a variety of industries, but I don't know
for sure
between me and you, but
for sure.
What's your thoughts on that?
So like for me personally, it's kind of like, okay, what do I know? Like, so like obviously I know real estate, I know sports or whatever. And then as far as like the customer, it's like, who do you want to serve? Like what's like that person? Like, even if you have to like make it up in your head, like, okay, he looks like this, he's this age, he likes these type of interests, then you can basically just use your imagination. But what also helps is like what I mentioned earlier, was that you put yourself in that beginner position. So like if, for example, Spencer, like you're golf, right? Okay, what was it like when you first picked up a club and you had no idea like what to do? Like what's something that would have been helpful for you to know, right? Like, okay, it could, yeah, probably could have been like, oh, how to hit a draw, right? You want to open up the stance a little bit, close the face of the club. Then you have like some type of maybe a mini video course that just talks specifically about that. So like that's what's helped is like I just really put myself in the shoes of like the beginner that's doing this for the very first time, and more times than not a lot of ideas just spring up just because, dude, it's just like it's endless. So did that answer your question?
Yeah, because cool. I think putting myself in the shoes of other people would help. And it's more like the golf content would be one thing. I was just also thinking of like, I work with a lot of like manufacturing companies and like school districts, private schools. It's like, okay, what is their problem? What do they need help with?
Exactly.
How am I the expert in sort of curating content that way? So yeah, that's really good food for thought.
Yeah, and that was the next thing I was going to mention is like the pain points, right? And what's helped me is that even if they're not a client or if they are a client, I would just be like, dude, what are you struggling with? what part of the process are you struggling with? You know, and just gathering as much data as possible. Like I ask that question a lot, and a lot of the clients are like, dude, I just can't feel myself, man. Like I don't know the gear. I don't know how to frame myself. I don't even know what settings to put on. Like it's just super frustrating, and I end up just not shooting any content. So that's a huge pain point already, at least from what I've experienced. For real estate, you know, or for mortgage, like for Connor, it could be like, dude, so many options out there, man. Like zero clue, like where to even start. Like how do I even pinpoint like what's the best option, you know? So like, yeah, pain points are huge also. So really just like having those discussions, like Spencer, like on our conversation, like, you know, when you ask for referrals, what I was suggesting to ask for referrals, that's another question to ask, be like, okay, like what else are you guys having a hard time with? And then kind of just gather that data.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I wanted to say great presentation. I thought it was really interesting that the average person needs to spend 7 hours with someone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Actually buy. So if you just have a YouTube channel that's, you know, hosting certain videos, then they can go and binge you for 7 hours, and you don't have to be taking all that time to be face to face with them.
Right.
And then I just think it's really cool to see your process and your sales, because myself, I'm very scatterbrained, and it's like, okay, I don't even know how to, like, you know, everything that I can help someone with, and then get it organized to actually present to someone and then to be able to manage it and the workload and all that, and building out your videography team and editing team and all that stuff. So it's been really cool to see you work.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that's why we make a good team, bro, because we fill in those gaps for each other.
Yeah, and I love one thing I kind of forgot to mention. I love just the case study slide about I took a screenshot of it here, and just like it kind of got my wheels turning. Of like I do a lot of case study videos for like a packaging company that did this packaging for a custom beer brand. It's like, well, why am I not doing a case study about that case study?
Oh yeah,
myself, right.
That's huge.
So it's like it doesn't even have to be in depth, right? It could be a simple like PowerPoint slide like this.
Absolutely.
Short video about it, so it's really good, and it kind of I would think that people might see their pain points in something like this and want to hire you that way.
Yeah, definitely.